Good afternoon. My name is James Living. It's a story about UFOs. In the spring of 1962, I was working for a company out of Canada, Ottawa, Canada, named Spartan Air Services in Argentina. And we were in the aerial photography business, aerial photography mapping business. In the spring of 1962, and had moved up to Mendoza, Argentina, on the west coast of Argentina, on the east side of the Andes Mountains. And one evening, I was with a friend of mine who was Major Pete Fernandez with the American Air Force. One evening, it was a Saturday evening, Pete and I had gone out to the Mendoza Country Club, which he was a member of, or an honorary membership to, and we'd had dinner, and there was always a big party going on weekends out there, dances on Fridays and Saturday nights, and quite a lot of activities. We heard a bunch of screaming in the patio. There was an awful lot of people, 200 or 300 people out on the patio milling around. There was a bar out there, and a lot of them were out there dancing and drinking out on that part of the complex. And so everybody wonders, what are they all screaming at? So everybody inside goes walking out to the patio, and as we stand there and look, and both Pete and I were standing looking, and it was very, very hard to tell how far away the object was. And what it looked like was, it was orange in color, very, 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 very bright. Almost the shape of something, if you were to be looking at a Goodyear blimp sideways. That was kind of the shape it seemed to have. There was absolutely no sound, and it was off to the west of the country club. But as I say, it was very, very hard to determine, is it far away, is it close in, how high is it? I mean, it wasn't that high, really. As a result of that, there was a lot of military people there, and somebody had run inside and scrambled some of the Argentine Air Force. And we could hear the jets taking off. We were not that far away from the airport, or the air base, and we heard the jets taking off. And as soon as we heard the jets taking off, this object to go away, just to take off and zoom to the north. Pete and I stood there, and as I say, we kind of looked at each other and scratched our heads and said, what do you think? And I said, I have no idea. And he says, well, neither do I. So of course there was an awful lot of chatter, and everybody's just talking. The next day, as Pete was out at the air base and questioned the pilots that had taken off, they saw absolutely nothing. But while he was out there, he also got a report that there had been sightings all the way up and down the west coast of South America and North America within a 2-hour time frame, from Alaska on down to, as I say, we were in Mendoza, but it was down, it had been seen in Chile also, within a 2-hour time frame. There was no explanation. Nobody knew what it was or anything of that nature. So everybody just assumed, well, it's got to be, flying saucers or of some kind, or extraterrestrial. There was never anything ever published about it. We saw no more about it. We heard no more about it. And every once in a while, Pete would say, "Hey, you seen any flying saucers lately?" Unfortunately, Pete Fernandez, who retired out of the Air Force and lived in Florida, was killed flying an aircraft in the Bahamas, many years later. So unfortunately, he's not around. But that was my one and only experience with viewing something in the air that I could not explain what it was. And both Pete Fernandez and myself had many, many hours flying time and been around aircraft all our life.